Are live in the Black Think Tank Club this morning. This is How to Pay Off Mortgages in 7 Years. My name is Don Daniel, founder of P.I.L.L Method International, a better way to eliminate debt. And for 16 years, we've been teaching people the truth about how lending actually works. Did you know that in 1934 is when banks started to truly amortize um, 30-year mortgages and soon to be 15-year mortgages after that, and how they are, when you take a look at the amortization schedule, how the interest rate you're quoted is not the interest rate you pay. You know that a 3% mortgage, it really isn't a 3% mortgage. Can I give you a quick example of that? So if you have a $200,000 mortgage at 3%, the bank wants you to pay back $103,000 in interest on a $200,000 mortgage at 3%. So can anybody tell me, is $103,000 3% of $200,000? No, it's not. It's 51%. All 3% loans, all 3% loans are 51% loans if you have a 30-year mortgage, all of them. And when it goes to 4%, it's actually 71% of what they want. This is what they want. This is not what they're going to get, but this is what they want. They want 71% of what you borrowed in the form of interest. And if it goes to 5%, they want 93%. If your mortgage is $100,000, if you have a $100,000 mortgage at 5% interest, the bank wants $93,000 on a $100,000 loan. How in the world is that 5%? Come on, folks. And if it's 6%, my goodness, they want $115,000 on your $100,000 loan. They actually want more in interest than what you're borrowing in principal. We're here to tell the truth about how loans really and actually work. And if anybody wants to come up and ask questions about this, just come on up, raise your hand, and we're going to get into this thing hot and heavy, especially if you're a real estate investor, because every now and then I get a hot juicy tip to go over on my show. And today I'm actually going to break down. I heard a real estate investor, somebody's raising their hand. I heard a real estate investor talk about an 18% mortgage. An 18% mortgage. So somebody raised their hand, but now they're gone. Okay. Oh, there you go. All right, let's pull them up. Okay, come on up to the stage. All right, Mercy.
Good morning.
How you doing?
So, Mr. Don, how you been, man?
Hey, man, I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. So you got a question for us this morning? To get things started off right?
Got a couple of questions. Man.
All right, go ahead.
I know about your method. I got another question for you though.
Sure.
How do you use that to work for your advantage though? Because sometimes, Robert Kiyosaki always said, run the debt up. So, how can we make the debt offset to be good debt?
Oh, well, listen, the P.I.L.L method, even though we pay the debt down faster, that's not our goal. Our debt is our goal is to use debt. I'm in complete agreement with Robert Kiyosaki. What I'm saying is stop paying retail for your money. So you're going to borrow the money. Okay. But if I can borrow the money cheaper, why not?
Makes sense.
Okay. So if you take a look at how much money, if you've got 20% of your payment, you take a look at your payment dollar, right? Let's just break down the $1 that's going towards the mortgage payment. Okay. $1. 20% of that dollar, or 20 cents out of that dollar, actually pays down the debt, while 80% or 80 cents of that dollar goes to interest. Why would you not want to turn that around, where 80% goes to pay down the loan and 20% goes to the interest?
I mean, I understand 1000%. That's
That
why I'm here with you.
that's what we're talking about, man. So yeah, I'm with Robert. Use the bank's money to invest. Okay, invest in the property. Make sure the property is cash flowing, and you start to create some residual or passive income. All right, love the idea of passive income, but out of your passive income, how much of that income do you want to keep? That's the question.
Mm,
Because when you're paying your mortgage, you're paying the mortgage out of your income and you keep what's left. I had a real estate
mhm,
investor. So, he's making, he's got two buildings. He's making he's bringing in over $41,000 a month. All right. Over $41,000 a month on the building, but his mortgage on the two building comes to 14,000. That's pretty good money, right?
mhm,
Yeah, but he was not paying attention to how much interest he was paying per month or for the year. Okay, so on one of these mortgages, let me put that on the screen so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'm going to pull that up right now so we can actually see what we're talking about. I'm going to put that over here and we're going to put, where is that? Let me find it. Um, and we'll put that on the screen.
Good morning, everyone. If you want to see what Don example is, go to ice10kvideos.com. While you're there, go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe, but most importantly, share this information.
Kenyatta, that's not fair for you to come in here and not introduce yourself and tell everybody how fabulous you are.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kenyatta. You can find me at kenyatta10k.com, and I am passionate about helping those who want to start their journey in real estate by helping them find a property, finance that property, cancel the interest so we can get you yet another property. Contact me if you need funding for rehab projects or even business funding.
Okay, man, listen, let's go ahead and put this on the screen. I want to show you something because he was not aware. He was making good money, but what he was not aware of was this. He was not aware of that in 37 months, even though he's making good money, in 37 months, he paid one of his mortgages down by $99,795.91. That's how much went to principal. That's the money he borrowed on over $1 million. Okay. He paid back 99,000 of those dollars in 37 months. You know how much they want to charge him in interest for that? How much they did charge him? $222,252 in interest. So even though you're making money, Mercy, don't you think $222,000 in interest is too much to pay in just 37 months?
absolutely.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. And so what we could do is combine what Robert Kiyosaki is talking about with the P.I.L.L method so we can save interest on both ends. So by the time we're done, this guy is still cash flowing big time money, right? But instead,
Yes.
instead of paying the $1,123,000 the bank wants to obtain the same properties, he's going to pay 243,000 and be done in 4.9 years because not because he didn't want to keep the debt, but he refused to keep paying all of that interest. So if you're going to pay the money, you might as well use that money to pay down the debt instead of giving it to the bank in interest so that they can build wealth. So yeah, we're kind of combining the two ideas. So you got any other questions for us, man? That was good. Thank you for that.
And listen, I'm a back page you. I'm a back page you. I got a couple of questions, you know. And hey, man, I'm glad to see you on Clubhouse, man. Appreciate you.
Listen,
I've
man.
been trying to get in contact with you for about a year.
Really?
I really have.
So
Not on this thing.
you've been following us for a while?
I know you, man. My name Merciful. I don't know if you guys
Oh, listen, man. I just saw Mercy. Okay.
Right.
I listen, man. Okay. I know who you are now.
All right.
I
I'm
know
gonna
who
hit you in
you
the
are
back.
now. But you got our
Definitely.
numbers. Yeah.
I got your number. Definitely. I'm gonna hit you up in like 30 seconds.
There you go,
I
man.
got a question. I got a real question for you.
All
I'm gonna
right.
get a minute.
All right.
All right,
Sounds
no
good.
problem.
Hey, listen, everybody. Just like that, you guys can come up and ask questions. I mean, some of the burning questions, some of the things that you talk about over the dinner table, some of the things that you thought were true, or people have told you. I heard this or I heard that. I would love to hear what you've heard about how mortgages actually work, so you can learn the truth. Some of you are getting ready to purchase a house. Some of you are getting ready to purchase a second or a third home, and you're using strategies that you've learned prior to put yourself in a good position. How would you like to be in a better position to purchase that next home? How would you like to pay even less for that next home? How would you like to be able to manipulate the mortgage situation so it makes it impossible for them to charge you all of that money? And you can now take that money and invest it in your family and build generational wealth with those finances instead of giving it to the bank. You know, here's what I need you all to know. I need everybody to know to please hear me very, very carefully right now, right here, right now. You don't need more money to get out of debt. You need to pay less interest. And that's the name of this game. Stop paying all the interest. In fact, the story I was getting ready to tell is that I heard yesterday that a real estate investor, because of some reversals in their business, but they wanted to get this property under contract. They're still making money on it, but the interest rate is 18% on that property. And everybody was saying, oh man, you need to get out of that loan. You need to refinance out of that. Can you imagine a mortgage at 18%? And if that is the case, so instead of refinancing, isn't the only option out of that loan. All right. So we have some people online right now that are kind of watching what we're doing, and that's great. So I'm going to show part of what we're going to go through. We're going to go through this step by step. I'm going to take it nice and slow. I'm going to show you how to treat an 18% mortgage differently. 18% differently. All right. So, Kenyatta, can we pull Miss Inca up, please?
Absolutely, we can.
All right, excellent. Because I think we have another question here, and I love questions. Listen, man, you want to get me fired up? You want to get me going this morning? Questions is the way to go. All right, Miss Inca, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing good. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Good morning. So, tell us what's on your mind this morning.
Yeah, so I'm trying to learn your method to pay less interest.
Okay.
I try to pay a little bit more into principal every month,
Hmm.
but if I can reduce the interest, why not? So I want to learn your method to be able to do that.
All right. So, um, I have. Would you like to put some of your numbers on the screen and see how I could what I would do if I had your mortgage? Would you like to take a look at that?
Yes, I will.
Okay, okay. So, are you able to watch our screen this morning, Inka?
I don't know where to watch it, so
Okay.
that's the question I asked
All
for the
right.
prompt.
So, are you near a computer or a tablet or iPad or something like that?
Yes,
Okay. You can actually watch us on your computer. Which are you close to? Computer or tablet?
a computer.
Okay. So on your computer, there's type into the address bar ice10kvideos.com, and that will take you to our YouTube channel, ice10kvideos.com. Let me know when you get there, and you're going to see one that says live, and you just click on that because that's where we are today.
Okay. I'm at the YouTube channel now.
Okay, you got us?
Yes.
All right. So let's go ahead and I'm going to change screens here. We're going to switch over. All right. We're going to stop sharing that screen and we're going to share a new screen. All right. There we go. And all right. So now I have an amortization schedule that's going to be coming up on your screen here in just a second. All right. And once we get
Okay.
that on the screen, let me go ahead and start putting your numbers in while we get that ready. So, what was the original amount of money that you borrowed? It doesn't have to be exact.
To about 230 thereabout.
About
230 some.
about two hundred
Yeah.
thirty thousand.
Mm-hmm.
That's close enough. Interest rate
4%.
4%. Okay, and it was a 30-year mortgage.
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to change that 6% to 40. And now what I'm putting on the screen is the principal and interest payment for $230,000. Now, it doesn't have to be exactly yours, but it's going to be close if your mortgage started out around $230,000. Okay. And how long have you been in the mortgage already, Inka?
No, I just got into it last April.
Yes.
Just this April.
Oh, so it's just a little over a year.
No, just this year.
Oh, this year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. And you made your first payment in April or May?
May.
May.
Or is
Okay.
it June? Mhm.
Or
June.
June. June. So,
Yeah.
so you've made two payments on this already.
Correct.
All right. So let me scroll down here. I'm going to scroll down to the. You listen. You got us at a perfect time, Miss Inka. Perfect time.
Yeah. I have another one that I've been paying from since last year
Okay.
that I got into last year. Yeah.
All right.
But this one, yeah. But the interest really annoys me sometimes. That why am I paying so much in interest? And I came across your your clubhouse. I said, okay, yeah, I can use this really.
Right. So let me go ahead and make these numbers just a little bit bigger. There we go. And now here's how much interest the bank wants if you keep this loan for 30 years. They want $165,000. Do you want to pay them $165,000 interest on the
No
230?
way.
No way. Okay. Because that is actually, if you look over here to the right, that's actually 71% of what you borrowed, 71.87%. So this is what
Mm-hmm.
we're attacking. All right. So let's take a look at this payment. And we're at payment number one right now. And you've made two payments so far. And the first one, $331 out of all the money you paid them, $331 went to principal, $766.67 went to interest. The rest of the money, if you're escrowing, went to taxes and insurance. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now, how do you feel about the fact that out of the money that you gave the bank, only $331.39 went to your loan?
No, I don't feel good about it.
Okay. And about the $766.67 they charged you? Is that fair?
No.
Okay. Have you have you seen one of my videos before?
No, I haven't.
Okay. So I'm going to have you help me here. Okay? Because as you help me, it'll help others and you'll learn the basics of this faster. Now, I also want to tell you that I'm just teaching the basics of how interest cancellation works. This is not my method. My method is
Okay.
education and using a computer program that does all the math, that tells you exactly how much to pay, what month to pay it in, which loan to attack, what day to do it on, so we can figure out how much interest you can save. I mean, we're going to save you the maximum amount of interest per dollar if we do these exact movements. These, what I'm getting ready to show you, aren't exact movements. Okay.
Okay.
But at least you'll leave here with something that you can start saving money immediately and know how much you're saving? Because right now you're paying a little bit extra on your mortgage, right?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
All right. And you know you're saving time and you know you're saving interest when you do that, correct?
Yeah.
Here's my next question. Do you have any idea how much interest you're saving every time you do that?
Well, it says it's going to reduce my number of payments by, I think, 6 months or thereabouts.
Right? But do you know
Yeah.
how much interest is saving you?
Well, it showed me. I can't recall. Yeah, it showed me then.
Okay. So here's
Mm.
what most people see when they get a receipt. The bank shows them, the bank never says, thank you for the extra money. Here's how much interest you saved. In 16 years I've been doing this, everybody said the same thing. They have no idea how much interest they're saving because nobody tells them. What if you could know, though? Would it make a difference if you could know?
Yeah, sure.
Let me show you some things here. And by the time we're done, you're going to be able at least to figure out how you can save interest and how much interest with small amounts of money. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now let's say we made our first payment in May, correct?
June.
In June. We made our first payment in June. So we don't owe any more money until July, correct?
Yeah.
What is July's principal payment according to this schedule? Just the principal payment.
332.50.
Do we have to wait till July to give the bank that money?
Well, I don't know.
Okay. You said you were paying extra. So let me ask you,
Yeah, just a little bit extra. Yeah.
do you have to wait till July to give them extra money?
No.
You can give that to them. So you could give them $332.50 in June if you wanted to, if you had it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. If you did, guess what? No interest comes out of that money. All of that money goes to principal, $332.50. And I would need you to see that they would subtract that from what you owe, and you're paid down to line 2 already, where you owe $229,336.11. You're already there if you give them that money in June instead of waiting till July. How about that?
Okay.
So you just got rid of line 2 on your schedule for only $332.50. You wiped it out. Your next mortgage payment for July is actually now on line 3, this one. So the third payment moves up. So you just changed 360 payments, monthly payments, into 359 monthly payments just by doing that, giving the bank money they were already looking for, but you gave it to them early. You disrupted the bank's timing, which made it impossible for them to charge you interest. Now, let's see how much interest you save by doing that, okay? The interest payment on line 2 is $765.56. But if we give the bank this money early and we're already on line 3, what happened? What happened to this 765.56?
Okay.
It's gone.
It's gone. How do you like that?
Very well.
Okay. Would you like to learn something even more powerful than that, Miss Inka?
Yes, please.
All right. What if we did this? Paid your mortgage on time, but then we looked at the next 3 principal payments. This one on line 2, the one on line 3, and the one on line 4. What if we gave the bank about $1,000 extra? About $1,000 extra. What would happen to these 3 interest payments?
Gone.
And your mortgage payment, your next mortgage payment would be on what line of your schedule?
That will be 4.
Which one?
4.
Nope, you'd be on line 5
Okay.
because we gave them 2, 3, and 4.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
So isn't that even better?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So let me show you one other thing. All right. And all right. So at the end of 1 year, let me get this off my screen. All right. So now at the end of 1 year, the end of the first year, we're going to take a look at cumulative principal and cumulative interest. That's column 3 and column 4. Column 3 and column 4, cumulative principal and cumulative interest. And we're going to look at line 12. At the end of 1 year, you will pay this mortgage down by $4,050.44.
Mhm.
But how much interest does the bank want? Immediately to the right. How much interest does the bank want from you in that time?
9,126.28.
Do I have to ask it? Do you want to pay that?
Now,
No. You want your money to go where? Where do you want your money to go?
to go to me.
and not to the bank?
No.
Exactly. So now let's take a look at this number. This is all the principal payments added up. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All the principal payments added up. And if that's all the principal payments added up for 1 year, here's my question. Do we have to pay this in 12 monthly installments? Do we have to pay the bank in 12 monthly installments?
If we cannot, if we can go around it, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm just asking. All right. So
Mm-hmm.
if we had it, if we had $4,000, could we just give it to them on line 1?
Mm.
If we had it,
Mm-hmm.
would we be paid down to line 12 in just 1 month instead of 12 months?
Mm.
What do you think about that?
It's a good strategy, but that's if we have it.
Okay, don't get in caught. Remember, I'm not teaching you my method. I'm just teaching you how loans
Yeah.
work right now.
Mm-hmm.
So don't
Yeah.
get caught up in the fact that I'm going to ask you to pay $4,000 on your mortgage. We just need to look at the numbers.
Yeah.
All right, and understand how it works. So if we have it, we could give the bank $4,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if we did, we'd be paid down to line 12 in 1 month, wouldn't we?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So if we did that, what would happen to all the interest payments between line 2 and line 12?
It's all gone.
So here's what I'm talking about. When I start talking about this, the people start thinking about where am I going to get $4,000? What they really need to think about is where they're going to get $13,000 over the next year, because that's what it's going to cost if they don't do something. So the question then becomes, do you want to pay $13,000 to pay your loan down to here? Or just about $4,000?
Mm. Mm.
Does that clear it up for you now?
Sure.
So that's what we're doing. What we're doing is, how can I make the money that I have go further? So what we're looking at is taking a person's budget, taking a look at their entire budget and saying, what can we do to save interest with their budget? Okay. So
Yeah.
now I'll give you a hint about how our program works. Here's a hint. We're first going to make sure that all the bills are paid. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the first bill is, how much do we spend on Inca and her family to have a little fun every month? That's the first bill. You like that?
Mm. Yeah.
The second bill is, how much of her income is going towards savings, retirement and stuff like that. Because that's taken right out of the check, right?
Yeah.
All right. Then number three, what are the minimum payments on the debt that she has, whether it's a mortgage, student loans, credit cards, car loans? What are the minimum payments? So we have to at least make the minimum payments, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Then we have to pay the rest of the bills. That's number four. We have to make sure that the lights stay on. We buy some food. We pay the cell phone. We pay the internet, because without the internet, you couldn't be talking to us right now.
Right.
Okay. So we have to pay all of that. So once all of those bills are paid, that's everything. Then what? Then we could easily calculate how much money is left over at the end of the month after everything gets paid.
Mm.
What if we took that money and put it in a savings account? Wouldn't that be good?
Yeah.
And then, no matter what that was, what if every 3 or 4 months we went to the savings account and took some money out and dropped big lump sums on the debt? We're not taking away from our budget. We're not taking away from our fund money. It is easy because we're putting that extra money in savings. And then every now and then, not every month, but every now and then, take some money out of savings and apply it to the debt on it with an exact amount and on an exact date. And we're going to tell you exactly how much interest you saved.
Mm.
How would you like something like that?
Very much.
Well, listen, if you want to know, you can get what's called a savings and earnings report. A savings
Okay.
and earnings report. So if you want to do that, you can go to the link. Oh, we don't even have the link above there. Let me put the link up there. Miss Kenyatta, are you in the building? Because I know you're busy.
I am here. I can put the link up.
Thank you. So we're going to put ICE 10K video. I'm sorry, ICE 10K live.com right at the top of the screen. And you'll be able to see that, Miss Inca, and you can click on that link, or you can just put in ice10k.com into your computer, and that will take you to the screen that you see here. You'll be able to put that's called where you put in to get your savings report, and you just fill out that information there. And then if you fill it out correctly and want to and read all the instructions on how to put your information in, and then when you put in your cell phone number, confirm it, and we will send you a code as a text to your message to as a text. And then you take that code and then put it back into the website, and that will let you into our financial form once you click on yes, I want to save. Once you do that, fill out all the information. All right. And then then somebody from our staff will give you a call, and you can know the month, day, and year you could be debt free, how much interest you could save with your current budget. And our average client pays off their 30-year mortgage, their brand new 30-year mortgage, in an average of 7 to 9 years.
Mm.
What do you think about that?
Really sounding good to me.
Okay, so let's just see how that would work for you. And guess what? You called at the perfect time, because right now, is last Wednesday, I went over 10,000 followers on Clubhouse. And to celebrate, we're giving away 10K, $10,000 over the next 10 days. And it ends on Monday, the 18th. So for those people who qualify for our program, we're going to take $1,000 off of our program. It's a lifetime program, $1,000 off to celebrate. And I'm doing that for 10 people.
Wow.
So if you're one of them, so you want to get that done right away. So because as soon as we've already helped 2 people save money, all right, with this offer. And so more people are putting in their information, but guess what? They're not filling it out completely. And then we have to send it back so that they continue filling it out, and then they go to the bottom of the queue. So make sure you fill it out completely. So when my staff calls, that you can give them information, and we can, we can forge ahead and see if this program is going to be right for you. All right, Miss Inka, do you have any other questions for us?
Yeah, I saw amortize10k.com now. So what do I click on to get to the form to
Okay.
fill?
Do you see where it says get a savings and earnings report?
No. Oh yeah, got it.
There you go.
Oh, I see. Okay,
Yep.
got it now.
And then you just fill that out and you'll be good to go.
Yeah. So this method, can it take me out of paying PMI for the FHA loan that I have?
For an FHA loan, the only way to get rid of PMI is to pay the loan off or refinance out of it. But we're going to save you so much money in interest, you won't even care about the PMI.
Got it.
So we're going to show you where to focus. And your biggest expense on this is the $766 a month they're charging you.
Yeah.
And your PMI is nowhere near that.
No.
Yeah. So if we can cut this $165,000 down by saving you over $100,000, wouldn't that be great?
Well, it will be. Yeah.
There you go. So let's focus on that, and then on your next house, okay, we'll show you how to avoid that PMI altogether. Ta-da-da-da. Sounds like you're a real estate investor.
I'm aspiring.
Come on. Listen, what if you could say, listen, now that I know this, I can save tens and even hundreds of thousands of dollars in interest I no longer have to pay. And now that interest I save, I can put that into buying more property.
Right.
Yeah. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
And we just happened to have Ms. Kenyatta is our resident lender to help people to get business purpose loans.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I will need to talk to her. I'll back channel you.
Okay.
Boy, I'm telling you, this is a very fortunate day for you, Miss Inka.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I have another mortgage due that I might need to work on. Yeah.
Well, listen, you can put both of them in. You can put both. You can everything that carries interest, put it in there. And we pay. Do you know we pay off 2 mortgages in about the same amount of time?
Wow.
3 mortgages in about the same amount of time, because you have renters in there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then we can show you how to make the most out of that rental money.
Yeah.
And guess what? We'll also show you how, if you've already earmarked, if you've already put down how much of that rent money you're getting in to reinvest immediately, we will not touch it in order for you to save money on interest and pay these loans off early. I don't need that money. I'll show you how to do it, and you can still invest. Oh, now she's really happy.
Oh yeah. I am.
All right, Ms. Inka, thank you so very much do you have any other questions for us this morning?
No, I think I'm good right now. I'm filling the form right away.
All right, good. Okay, folks, listen, Ms. Inka is going to take advantage of the 10K in 10 days. It ends on Monday. I want to share with you someone who has already taken advantage of paying off their mortgage in just 4 years. And he's our latest celebrity endorsement. And I want you to see if you can recognize by seeing him, and if you can recognize, if you're on Clubhouse, if you can recognize his voice. I want you to listen to this particular gentleman who paid off his mortgage in 4 years using the P.I.L.L method.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was E.T., the hip hop preacher Eric Thomas, paid off his mortgage in 4 years using our program. And I wasn't the only one that was there that heard it. Miss Kenyatta, you were in the building. What did you do? Listen, you were on the front row. What did you do when you heard that?
I was screaming. I was so elated. For him to be in a position to be able to buy his home outright and didn't do so, that was one clue, right? Because success leaves clues. And then for him to say that he took advantage of the P.I.L.L method was like, oh yeah. I knew it. I knew that I picked right. I knew that when I heard it, I didn't get excited prematurely. I knew what I heard, the same thing he heard.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it. The number one motivational speaker on the planet uses the P.I.L.L method. And we have somebody else on our stage as a moderator this morning. Miss
We can't hear you if you're speaking.
Oh, I was speaking.
You're going to have to say all of that. All
right. Well, I said, listen, I'm so glad that we have somebody that Eric Thomas, who paid off his mortgage, but we have somebody else on our stage who is a resident expert as a moderator. That's Miss Rosa Laura, Credit Goddess. Miss Credit Goddess, are you with us this morning? Because she's always busy. And listen, both of you guys are taking phone calls and stuff, and I get it. I so appreciate the fact that you spend the time with us here to help us to moderate. And I know you're taking phone calls, even from people on stage that are calling you when they should be listening to me. They're talking to you, and I'm not even jealous. Okay. All right. Miss Credit Goddess, when you're available, flash your mic so we can get you back in here. Okay. Miss Inca, are you complete?
Yes, I am. Thank you. Yeah. I'm still on the phone right now.
All right, you go right ahead and finish out what you have, and my people will get right on that. Okay.
Yes. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, Miss Janelle, how are you doing this morning?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. We are in the Black Think Tank Club this morning, folks, and this is how to pay off mortgages in 7 years. And we're just doing a quick reset. And what we're talking about is how to pay off all of your debt in an average of 7 to 9 years. We're also in our 10K giveaway, which ends on Monday, the 18th. And I'm going to give you right now, we're going to put it in the chat. We're going to put it in chat, your coupon code. You're going to put in a coupon code. When you start filling out the form, the form is going to ask you, how did you hear about the P.I.L.L method? You're going to click on, you're going to go down to other, and it will allow you to type in the coupon code, which is ICE 10K. ICE 10K. ICE stands for Interest Cancellation Expert. Put that right in there. Okay. And so that way we'll know that you want $1,000 off off a lifetime program. We have never, ever done this in life, but we just want to show our appreciation for having 10,000 followers on Clubhouse. And listen, we're over 5,000 subscribers on YouTube. So if you want to see what's going on here, if you want to see what we're doing, go to ice10kvideos.com and it'll take you to our YouTube channel. Make sure you click on subscribe. You can like it. You can like some of the videos. You can comment on them. You can do all of that and click that notification bell. So anytime that we're on, if we put up a new video, you will know. All right, Miss Janelle, talk to us. What's on your mind this morning?
Yes, I know you guys are talking about mortgages, and I have a question about that. but I also want to ask you, we're looking into getting into hotel investing, but through capital investment. Do you work with that as well?
You mean like syndication?
Well, raising capital for hotel investment.
I don't raise capital, but guess what?
No, I know you don't. I'm wondering
I
if
know
your
people.
method
Oh yes,
works in that realm.
definitely. If
Okay,
if
great.
you're using bank money at all,
Not using bank money.
not using bank money,
No,
okay.
is
Are you
all
saying
invested.
now? Is interest being paid?
Excuse me?
Is interest being paid?
Yes, ma'am.
Then it works.
Yep.
Okay. Well, good, because I want to get with you with that. But the mortgage question that I have
Yes.
is I happen to know someone years ago who did this, and I wanted to know if this still works. Where for 6 months they didn't pay, they did their check to their mortgage, and they put on their check for principal only. So for their first 6 months, their mortgage check was only for principal, and then they paid their taxes separately. Is that something that still works today? And if so, does that have a problem with the interest accruing or something like that because the person did that?
Okay, let's talk about that for just a second. I want to make sure I understand it completely. In that 6 months, were they making their mortgage payment at all? As you understand it,
Yes,
they were making their
they
mortgage
were
payment.
making. Mhm.
All right. They were making their mortgage payment. And were they putting extra money with it?
No, they were just paying the mortgage amount, but putting on the check interest on for principal only. Excuse
Okay.
me.
Yeah, they can't do that. It's written in the contract that if you do a mortgage, you have to pay the complete mortgage payment first, and then you can apply money to principal. They will not you cannot apply money to principal unless the entire mortgage payment is paid for that month.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, got it.
So that's what
I'm
if they were doing that, that's what they did. They were putting extra money on. They would have to.
okay. Got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Now, is there anything else you want to know about mortgages?
No, that was it. I've been following everything. I got you up on my TV and YouTube. So
What? You got me on the big screen?
oh, I got you on the big screen. We having financial university going on right now.
Hello, everyone. Oh, listen. Listen, I know I shouldn't get excited about that. I mean, this is show number 111. Why am I getting excited about being on the big screen? You know why? You know what, Miss Janelle?
Why?
Because I'm 5'4".
That was so crazy.
and now I look 6'2". I absolutely love it. I absolutely love what I do. Miss Janelle, I want you to hang out on stage and listen. You've been coming in here from time to time, right?
I sure am.
All right, listen. Take what you have you bought the book yet?
No, I'm gonna buy it. I got reminded. I'm sorry, I got distracted. I know I told you the last time I was gonna buy it, but I'm going on Amazon now.
All right. So listen, that just reminds me, folks, let's time to talk about the book. Do you realize that this book that talks about how to read an amortization schedule and how to defeat it is the only book that does this out of 33 million books on Amazon, out of 33 million books on Amazon. And so, folks, get the book and let me go over here. I'm going to do a quick let me see here. I'm going to do something right quick and check on Amazon, see where we are today. All right, Amazon. And let me see, Amazon. So we're going to go to ice10k.com and check out the book, okay? ice10k.com. All right. And take us there. Okay. ice10k.com. Boom. All right. And then it says, okay, step one, get the book. We're clicking on that. Take us there. And okay. There are 33 million books, over 33 million titles on Amazon. I need you all to see out of the Amazon bestsellers here. I have it on my screen. Amazon bestsellers today. We're not number one. Yeah, but we are number 7 today. You know, and we got that on, and listen, and this is on the big screen, folks. You know it's real now because it's on the big screen. All right. So listen, so we're putting that up there. So we are number 7 right now. And if you on most wished for, okay, most wished for books on Amazon, we are, let me see if I can find us in here on the most wished for. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we kind of dropped down. We were at number 2 yesterday. Okay. Because it dropped down a little bit. So let me go that back there. And most wished for. All right. And new releases. Okay. Well, anyway, we're number 7. I like that. Number 7 today. And that matters because that means people are getting the book. They are enjoying the book. They're telling others about it. But we have been a 5-time number 1 bestseller. 5-time number 1 bestseller. And pretty soon we want to work and get us back up to number 1 so we can be a 6-time bestseller. But listen, folks, I'm not complaining. Number 7 out of 33 million titles, I'm okay with that. So I'm just so appreciative for all of you who are buying the book and reviewing the book and telling others about it and taking advantage of this information because people need to know the truth about how their loans work. Okay? People need to know. All right. Now, let me see. Are there any other questions about what's going on? Is there anything in the chat? Let's see. All right. And then let's see. Let's see. All right. Somebody's asking for help. All right. So listen, whoever's asking for help, I see that. Go to ICE. All right, go to ICE 10K. Okay, no, go to don10k.com. don10k.com and contact my office. don10k.com. We're going to put that in the chat. don10k.com. There you go. There it is. If you click on don10k.com, I just put it in the chat, that will take you to my business card. And my number for my office is on there. All right. Call the office. Let's see how we can help. All right. There you go. All right. All right. So, Miss Kenyatta, guess what? And Miss Rosalor, guess what? Yesterday,
What?
I heard on Business Over Breakfast, BOB, someone had was in distress because they had an 18% mortgage.
I heard that. I heard that.
You were in there?
Yes.
Did you hear what I said?
I did. I also slid in the back channel.
Ooh, okay. So, folks, I'm going to go ahead and put that on the screen. Let's show you. let's show you how we can take advantage of an 18% mortgage, even though it seems like an 18% mortgage is taking advantage of us. You want to see this. This is the first time I put this on the screen. This is the first time in 111 shows we actually dealt with a real estate investor's 18% mortgage and how they can deal with it. All right. So once you understand the P.I.L.L method, prepayment of principal, what does that mean? Isolating the principal amount. How much do we apply and when do we apply it? Okay, because we want to isolate it out of everything else we can do. All right, what is the right thing to do? And then leverage. What is the smallest amount we can pay to kill the maximum amount of interest per dollar? All right, that's leverage. And then liquidity. How do we use all of the money that we have that's available to us to eliminate interest? So when you take a look at liquidity, most people don't consider their line of credit liquid. They don't. They've got the money in the bank. They've got credit cards. They've got all sorts of availability to funds, but they don't know how to use them all correctly in order to save money. So we want to look at all of your liquidity and then see how we can best use that to save money. So I'm going to go here and put this on the screen. We're going to take this out. We're going to put in just $200,000. And we're going to put it in at a whopping 18%. And I want you to see what this does to the loan. Now, what we need to look at, folks, is how can we manipulate interest cost with this loan? Look at here. Here's a $200,000 mortgage at 18%. The payment now is $3,014.17. If a real estate investor has this mortgage, chances are, here's what I know to be true. It's probably a multifamily. Wouldn't you say that? Kenyatta's probably a multifamily, and the amount of rent that they have that they're getting in more than covers this payment. Okay. Or they wouldn't be in the mortgage, right? They wouldn't have gotten it if the rents they were receiving couldn't pay this $3,000.
It makes sense somewhere.
Okay, so it's got to make sense, because why would they get a mortgage for 18%? All right, and their payment was $3,000, but the rents coming in came to $2,000. Would that make sense? Would you make that loan, Kenyatta?
Not unless it made sense.
All right, and it doesn't make sense if the rent's coming in as $2,000, but your payment is $3,000. It doesn't make sense at all. So we're going to assume that this guy is making money on this loan. All right, that's number one. Now let's take a look at the summary, and I want you to look at this summary, and I need you to see something and know that when we're looking at these loans, the bank wants you to look at only one thing. This is a 30-year loan, and these are your numbers. That's if you keep the loan for 30 years. Okay? So this is what happens. On a $200,000 mortgage at 18%, the bank wants $885,101.20 in interest on a $200,000 loan. That's if you keep it for 30 years. That's a lot of money, folks. That's a lot of money. The first interest payment on this loan is $3,000. So your total interest paid as a percentage of principal, 442%. 442%. How is that even legal? Well, it is legal. But guess what? You do not have to pay that. Now, I want you to all take a look at this loan. Take a look at this loan. I need you all to see this loan. If you are watching this on the screen, you're going to get the biggest shock of your life. And I need everybody to see it. Miss Kenyatta, how can everybody see what we have on the screen right now?
Everyone can see this example by going to ICE10K videos with an S.com. It'll take you straight to YouTube where you can like, comment, subscribe, but most importantly, share.
All right, Flame, you're in the building. Listen, man, I heard we were just talking about what we heard in BOB yesterday about a real estate investor who had an 18% mortgage. And everyone was saying, listen, man, as soon as you can, you need to refinance out of that thing. And I'm telling them, while you have it, let's see how you can make the most out of it. Flame, how are you doing this morning, sir?
Man, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Man, when I heard that one, I already know that you was probably on pins and needles over there when you start hearing that type of stuff about seeing how you can leverage it. That's the thing that you do is you teach. We appreciate that, Mr. Don.
All right, Flame. Listen, man, I'm glad you're here now, but and I don't want you to get all distressed because I was focused on other things. We've been dropping gems in here for the last hour. Please don't get distressed when you look at the number of shares. Don't get distressed. Just help us. Can you help us?
Yeah, man, listen, man, nah, we're not gonna get distressed because everybody here, what they understand is that you give out valuable information. But one thing that is not you, Mr. Don, it is actually the room. And what happens is when people get information, sometimes they want to keep it for themselves. They don't want anybody to know about this good information that we're getting. And sometimes that comes from our ancestry, where people actually wanted to hover over stuff and not wanted to be able to give out to others. Listen, if you're in this room right now and if you can hear my voice, let's make sure that we're not a product of our environment, which is being stingy. How do you become unstingy? Is by going down to the bottom and hitting the share button for the room and making sure that other people actually notice this room in your hallway. Now, how do you do it? You see there's a share button at the bottom. There's an arrow that's going up. What I need you to do, guys, is go down there and hit that share button, right? Where it says share, I want you to share it. And I want you to make sure that it's shared on all your platforms and that people can actually see it, right? As you do this is push the algorithm. Listen, hold up, I'm tripping. It's 6 shares. Hold on, let's do something again. Let's do that. Back up for a minute. Listen, right now, man, I gotta have 20 shares in this room. There's 20 shares in this room. We got 7 shares now. Let's get up to 20 shares right now in this room. Come on, let's go down and share the room. Let's find out that we're not a hater. Who's the hater in the house? Is there a hater in the house? If you're a hater, you ain't gonna share the room. That's how I found out the haters. I can find out who ain't sharing the room, and that's how we can alleviate these haters that comes up to these rooms. Sometimes haters are humans, and they call themselves bots. Sometimes you talking about other people could be the bot. You could be the bot. Let's get up to 20 shares in this room. We got 13 shares now. Listen, let's get up to 20 shares. Right? Matter of fact, let me find out who ain't sharing the room. That's what I take off. I can't believe she didn't share the room after all that information she got. Boy, oh boy. Boy, that's kid. Hey, man, he ain't share the room neither. That's my guy. He ain't share the room. Oh man, I know there's something going on here now. Listen, let's go ahead and share this room, man. Let's put this room in the hallway right now. Let's come on now. Let's not play the game. Let's get the room in the room. I said let's get 19 shares. Let's get to 25 shares. Y'all know where we at. Let's not play the game. Let's put it in the hallway. Let's get these algorithms up. There's a lot of places that you could be on this app. It's a lot of places that you can be, but it's only one place that you can. There's one place that you can actually pay off a home in 7 years. With that being said, Mr. Don, it's back over to you.
All right, all right. Listen, we got somebody who's got their hand raised. It's Gaddafi boy, but Gaddafi boy, I'm telling you, my moderators have seen your hand. Okay, the reason why they're not bringing you up, let me give you a couple of reasons. Number one, you've been on just about a month, and you don't have your profile filled out. Plus, you're not linked to social media, so they can't check you out. So that's why they're not bringing you up. All right. Because if they did bring you up, and there's people, I'm not saying it's you, but there are people who have a profile similar to that, and all they want to do is come and disrupt the stage and, do something that they think is funny. So that's why they haven't brought you up. So if you really serious about getting in here and learning, fill out your profile and link your profile to some social media, and they'll bring you up. You've been on almost a month. And so it's time to go ahead and do what you got to do to be able to talk on this stage. All right. So that's that for today. So we would love to talk to you, but man, you got to help. You got to help us help you. Help us help you. All right. So they saw you. They just didn't bring you up. All right. So anyway, and that's what my moderators do. They protect the stage. And so we want to make sure that you're actually out there ready to ask a question and to, contribute, not to disrupt. All right. So folks, go ahead. So listen, if you got any other questions, come on up, get this out in the hallway and get this thing going. So we have, if you want to see what we're doing, I got an 18% mortgage on here, and I'm going to show you how we're going to take advantage of an 18% mortgage. Okay. So here we go. All right. So let's get down to payment number one. Payment number one on an 18% mortgage. And I need somebody to come up on stage to help me with this. Anybody wants to come up on stage and help me with this, that'd be great. Or anybody that's already on stage can help me. All right. All right. So, all right. So Miss Sandy wants to, let me see that. Does somebody else wants to come up? All right.
Yeah, I can.
All right, we got Miss Sandy. She wants to come up. All right. So Miss Sandy, guess what? Miss Sandy has a she's been on a while. She's got her profile filled out. She's connected to social media. All right. So let's bring her up. Bring her on up. All right. Hi, Miss Sandy. Let's bring her up. There you go. Miss Sandy, how are you?
Hi there. Good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So are you watching this 18% mortgage out here?
I'm actually watching you on the big screen, and I'm looking at you on my phone. So
I'm on the big
I'm a
screen
little shocked.
again. Look,
Yes, yes, indeed.
that's twice in one day. 6 foot Don. 6 foot Don. Okay. Miss Sandy, listen. I have you seen our presentation before at all?
I have not. I actually just stumbled upon this morning. I'm like, oh, I need to watch this before I purchase a home.
Okay, so I'm going to show you something. Because do you see the amount of money on an 18% mortgage on $200,000? Do you see how much goes to principal on this loan?
Yes, I'm looking at pennies because I'm trying to understand how these numbers even make sense.
Okay, and how much goes to interest on this?
So let's see here.
On the first payment number one.
That's the whole payment, $3,000.
There you go. So the payment is actually $3,014.17. And on the very first payment, only $14.17 goes to principal, $3,000 goes to interest. Did you realize it's legal for banks to do that?
I work in the legal profession, so trust me, I've had a lot of instances with banks. They can do a lot of things that we don't realize.
Okay, so I'm going to show you where the blessing is in this mortgage. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. So now, here's the thing, folks. We're charged interest every single month. We have the bank's money. Every single month, we're charged interest. And then once we pay it down, then we get a new interest charge for the next month. You follow that, Miss Sandy?
Yes.
Okay. So now we're starting out at $200,000. So the first interest charge on $200,000 is $3,000. So $14.17 is paid towards principal. That leaves us a principal balance of $199,985.83. Are you seeing that on line one?
Yes.
And because you paid it down now, it's impossible for the bank to charge you that same amount of interest on line two. So your interest payment on line two goes all the way down to how much money?
$2,999.79.
Is that 21 cents difference?
Look, I feel like I went into more debt just the first payment.
Oh my goodness. All right. Now, let's take a look here. I'm going to show you because this is strong for the bank. This is strong for the bank because this is based on their timing and their math and the way that they do their math. Their timing and their math, okay? What if we change the timing? That would change the math in our favor if we change the timing. You see what I'm saying, Miss Sandy?
That makes sense.
Let me show you what's going on here because I'm going to show you the weakness in their strength because the weakness is their strength is we don't know how this operates. And having an 18% interest rate shows that even more than if it was 2.99. Having an 18% actually shows the weakness of their system. And I'm going to show it to you right now. So if we start this out let's say we started out this mortgage in January. We make our payment in January. We don't owe anything until February, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you can stay unmuted as long as there's no background noise because you're going to help me with this because you got me on the big screen. Oh, listen, I know I shouldn't be. I really don't have a short person's complex, but man, when I'm on the big screen, I mean, that just that just does something.
Well, it works for my eyes too, because I'm getting up there. So these little numbers wouldn't work on my phone.
Okay, here we go. So if I'm making a payment in January, I can actually see February's principal payment. How much is February's principal payment?
Good Lord, $14.38.
So here's my next question. Do I have to wait till February to give the bank that $14.38?
Not necessarily.
Okay. Now I'm gonna ask you one other favor. When I get ready to show you this, you can't say any bad words.
I'll try my best.
Okay. Okay. So if you had that money, that $14.38, and this was your mortgage, could you give the bank $14.38 in January as well?
Absolutely.
All right. So let's bring Miss Coffee Brown and Miss A. Miller up to the stage, please. All right. So now I need them to get filled in on what's going on with this, Miss Coffee Brown, Miss A. Miller, and I want you to know, Miss Sandy, do you have any aspirations to be in real estate investing at all?
Yes, I definitely want to get into it.
Okay, then I need you to hear because we got Miss Kenyatta here. We got Miss Credit Goddess. I need you to hear from Miss A. Miller and from Miss Coffee Brown on what they do. Okay, Miss A. Miller, could you introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Good morning, everyone. I love this room and love what you guys are doing here. But my name is Ashante Miller. I'm known as A. Miller, and I'm an entrepreneur and investor. So my business, A. Miller Group, we help establish businesses, brands, and real estate investors to maximize their cash flow through customer acquisition, customer retention, and also employee retention strategies. As far as investing, I invest in multifamilies. We have a total of 15 doors that we've transitioned to corporate housing. So pretty much what that means for us is our corporate clients from A. Miller Group, they lease out our corporate spaces for anywhere from 12 to 16 months at a time. And so that's how we're growing our portfolio, is through our corporate client and their corporate housing needs. So my goal by October is to have probably about additional 35 doors to the acquisition of 3 additional multifamilies. So that's what I do in real estate, and that's what we do in my business.
Thank you very much for that. All right. So, Miss Coffee Brown, I know you're on the way to work, but talk to us this morning. Tell us who you are and what you do.
Good morning, guys. It is good to see A. Miller in the house and also my other amazing thought leaders. And I know Flame is going to get us where we need to be in just a little while. In the interim, I am Coach P. Coffee Brown. I'm here in the great state of Texas by way of Houston. I am a certified master life coach. We support collaborators, content creators, and entrepreneurs in understanding the wealth behind having published work. It is not optional, it is mandatory. And Ice 10K is living proof. I think his book has done best-selling maybe 5 or 6 times with just one publication, but we've published several and done the same thing. So that's what we do. We help you to get that thought out of your mind to a publication in your hands. That is our focal point in this particular season. I also have an online boutique affording women an opportunity, professional and at play, to look and feel their absolute best. So I'm so excited and honored to be in the building with you, Don. Oh, and by day. So I do that whenever I'm not here in my other entrepreneurial professional space. I lead a group of licensed insurance agents here with Farmers Insurance in the Texas area. So Don, I yield the mic back to you, my friend. Thank you so much for this incredible room and all that you do, sir.
All right. So, Miss Coffee Brown, I'm giving you a heads up because I don't want you to faint out there. I hope you're not driving, because I heard in Business Over Breakfast yesterday, a real estate investor that has an 18% mortgage. I'm going to show everybody where the blessing is in an 18% interest rate, and I don't want you to get all upset.
Sweet baby Jesus. Go ahead, Don.
Okay, so Miss Sandy, we're back to you now. Back to you. We're making our very first payment on a $200,000 mortgage at 18%. The monthly payment is $3,014.17. And out of the very first payment here in January, how much money went to principal?
$14.17.
So now we're just waiting. We can see the February's principal payment. How much is February's principal payment right now?
$14.38.
So it's about 21 cents difference, folks. So here's what we're talking about. Here's my question. Do we have to wait till February to give the bank that $14.38?
No.
No. If you had it, could you give it to them in January as well?
Yes.
Did you realize that would go to principal? That would be applied to principal, and you'd be paid down to line 2 on your amortization schedule.
Correct.
Did you realize what just happened? We got rid of line 2 for only $14.38, not $3,014.17.
Gotcha.
That's the weakness in the system. $14.38 got rid of line 2. So our next mortgage payment for February is now on what line of the schedule?
Line 3, technically.
Exactly. Not technically, actually. That's how it works. This is the weakness in their system. The weakness is you can never know how this works, because once you know, you stop paying interest like that. Okay?
Gotcha.
All right. So now we're on line 3, where how much money goes to principal, how much goes to interest?
$14.60 principal and $2,999.57 goes to interest.
Now that interest payment on line 2, the $299.79, what happened to that?
I mean, that's gone. We didn't make it to that interest. So now we're going to the next line.
What do you mean by it's gone?
Well, in essence, we're kind of eliminating, not kind of, we're eliminating a line item. So it's like, I think of this when I think of like credit cards where if you don't get to that point of having interest because you've paid off your balance, you know, you're not accumulating that. So you'll be moving on to, you know, whatever next charges you have.
So you just saved, in other words, you're telling folks they just saved $2,999.79 in interest they never have to pay by prepaying $14.38.
That's what it looks like to me.
That's exactly what it is. So let me ask you to let me use your example to make this abundantly clear. All right. I have a brand new credit card straight out of the envelope. I've just activated it. I put $2,000 on that credit card. I charged $2,000, but I paid all $2,000 off next month. And it's at 7%. How much interest did I pay?
0.
Okay. So would it make a difference if it was 15%? Now I did the same thing on a 15% card. How much interest did I pay?
Be the same, 0.
Really? Even if it's 25%?
Correct.
What if it's a whopping 30% interest on a credit card and I pay it off next month? How much interest did I pay?
I mean, I escaped it. If you paid it off, it's gone.
So see folks, interest payments you skip don't matter. It doesn't matter what they were looking for. It matters what you actually paid. So interest payments you skip don't matter. You see what I'm saying, Miss Andy?
Yes.
All right. So let's see how we can treat this more like your credit card instead of an 18% mortgage. So if I did this, what if I did this? I made my mortgage payment, okay? And then I took a look at the next 3 principal payments, $1,438, $1,460, and $1,482. That's the principal payments on line 2, 3, and 4. Okay?
Yes.
If I prepaid that, what happens to the interest payments on line 2, 3, and 4?
Based on what we just talked about, there would be no interest for those line items. You're already paying it.
So I've just saved nearly $9,000 in interest I never have to pay the bank that they were looking for.
Correct. Yes.
Is that surprising to you?
It actually is, because I'm looking at this like, oh, this is something that's workable, especially since the principal payment amount is so small.
Right. So the higher the interest rate, the smaller the payment. Now, am I saying go out and get an 18% loan? No. But what I am saying is don't be afraid of purchasing now at the higher interest rates, because the higher the interest rate, the lower the principal payment, and you can do great damage to a loan at a lower principal payment. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it actually does.
Now I'm going to show you something. At the end of 1 year, can you look at column 3 and column 4? And here's what the bank wants. At the end of 1 year, okay, we're looking at cumulative principal and cumulative interest. At the end of 1 year, we will pay this loan down by how much money? Doing it the bank's way.
It doesn't feel like anything.
Yeah, let's tell the folks the number that can't see what you're seeing.
So the principal is $184.79, and the interest would be $35,985.25.
That's what the bank is looking for. Okay, that's what the bank is looking for. They want you to pay pay off your loan by $184.79, but they want $35,985.25. Wow. Okay. So here's my question. The money that you borrowed, you got to pay back. That $184.79 we do have to pay, right?
Correct.
But do I have to pay it over 12 monthly installments?
Based on this, not at all. You definitely can accelerate that and make it worth your while. Get
Okay.
rid of a lot of that interest.
All right. Now I'm hearing from you. You've said that at least 3 times. Based on what I'm hearing now, it still seems kind of impossible, doesn't it?
It just is weird. It's a weird feeling because I'm just looking at the numbers like, okay, wait a minute.
I guarantee you it works just like this. Do you know what is strange? It's easier for people to believe that they can get a loan like this and pay $184.79 in principal and $35,985 in interest. It's easier for them to believe that than for them to believe that they can save the amount of money I'm telling them they can save. Wow.
I agree with you. I could see it every day.
Okay, now, so if we do not have to pay this $184.79 over 12 monthly installments, could I give it to the bank all at once on line 1?
That's what I was thinking when we first started going down the lines. I'm like, so you could literally, not only could you pay the first year, the next year doesn't look any better.
We're going to take these numbers and we're going to show you how to treat this as a different type of loan once you understand how this works, okay?
Okay.
All right. So now, if we gave the bank the $184 on line 1, would we be paid down to line 12 in just 1 month?
Correct.
What would happen to all the interest payments between line 2 and line 12?
That would be 0 because we don't get there.
All right. So we save all those interest payments? Wow. For $184. So do you think I could find $184 if more people knew this? If more people knew this when interest rates were 10, 12, 13%, years ago,
right.
Could they have taken advantage of this with just a little bit of extra money?
Yeah, I definitely see where it would work.
Right. So it is all because we don't know how to read. It was not too long ago. I'm reading a book now called 1619. It wasn't too long ago it was illegal to teach certain people how to read.
Correct.
Why is that?
I mean, it was against the law. We were enslaved.
Why? So why were people afraid that we would learn how to read?
I mean, you hide all the knowledge in the books. It's the easiest way to prevent people from getting, progress.
Exactly. So to help keep people enslaved, part of the strategy was you can't learn how to read.
Right.
Okay. So the Bible says that the borrower is slave to the lender.
Correct.
So if you want to keep people enslaved in debt, they can't learn how to read this. Once they learn how to read it, they stop paying all that interest. Isn't that something?
It's a lot of interest.
It's a ton of interest. And you don't have to listen, and we don't have to do very much. Look, $184 here in 1 year. Look what happens for 2 years. $405.
Right.
If you're a real estate investor and you have a few extra dollars sitting on the sideline, okay?
Right.
To do repairs and to do maintenance on your properties. Let's say, and I'm just saying, out of the money that you could do, out of the money that you could pay, let's take a look at this. Let's take some money out of the bank account, out of your reserve fund. Let's say you got a reserve fund of 25 grand. Could we take out about $3,000 and apply it to this loan?
Absolutely.
Look what $3,000 does. I'm going to go down to cumulative principal. I'm going to go down to 3 grand. We keep going. We're going. We're going. Okay. $3,000 takes us down to payment number 90 what? Payment number what?
96.
96. We
96.
knock off 96 payments. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So listen, that's one. That's okay. 60 payments. That's 5 years. Okay. 60
Right.
payments is 5 years, right? And that's 6, 7, 8 years. We can knock off 8 years off this loan with $3,000. Okay.
Right.
And that saves us almost over $280,000 in interest we don't have to pay if we prepay $3,000.
Wow.
Let me show you what would happen. Let me show you something here. We're going to duplicate this tab, and I'm going to put in for the same thing at 4.5. Okay, 4.5% interest. And take a look at the same loan at 4.5. Do you see where $3,000 takes off about 1 year and the interest that we would have paid?
Wow.
Okay. So if we take a look at that first year, okay, of $35,000. Okay. 35,000. So that what if we paid that $3,000 in the first year? Okay. We're still going to pay about $35,000 in interest because we have payments every single month. Okay.
Correct.
We have payments every single month. So let's say for 1 year out of our payments, we were able to pay, we're going to still pay about $30,000 in interest on this loan
Right.
in the first year. But we don't have to be at payment number 1. We can actually take off 9 years. All right. By
Gotcha. Yes.
focusing on with that $3,000. So if we take that 35, okay, and we're actually in 9 years, we take that. Now what we're trying to figure is the what is the word I'm looking for? The effective interest rate. Okay, the effective interest rate. So if I take that 35, if I take that and say, take that 35,000, okay, 35,985, divide that by 9, comes up to almost $4,000, right? So if I average that out, I took off 9 years. So but I'm okay with taking off 9 years if I could average about $4,000 in interest, correct?
Right.
Let me take a look at this loan. If I had this loan, which was way better, and I did it the way the bank wants, I'm still paying off about $3,000, but look how much interest I'm paying.
Right.
And that's at 4.5. So how can I treat my 18% loan better than a 4.5% loan? When I take a look at how much interest I'm would pay over a 9-year period if I had a better interest rate, supposedly.
Right. Right.
You see, so this is what we're looking at here, folks. So I have somebody mentioned something online. Do you have any questions about this? What you're looking at here, Miss Sandy?
I think this is definitely clear, and I have a lot of I have a lot of things to consider when I purchase a home.
So listen, when you're purchasing a home, all you have to take a look at is how much are they charging me to buy. Now, when I can do this again, okay, when I can do this again, we're going to show you on Friday. I'm going to show you how a real estate investor can do this at 18%. And then I'm going to do a whole 2-page report on this, the same report that people would get if they were to fill out a savings and earnings report for me. I'm going to show the effective interest rate on this and how much interest they could save if they only had just a little bit of money left over after all the bills are paid. Okay. And so when you take a look at how much interest you actually save, then you can say, oh, here's what the interest rate would have had to be to charge this little amount of interest on this loan. So we're going to take the 18% interest rate and figure out what the effective interest rate would be if you were so-called stuck in this loan. Okay?
Right.
And I want to be very clear to all the real estate investors on the stage right now. Every single one. If you're on the stage right now, what you're being told is if you're in the higher interest rates right now, the sixes, the 6.25, the 6.5, when you buy your property now, everyone is saying your real estate agent, the loan officer, and the experts in purchasing property, in real estate investing, they're saying this: you can refinance in a little while to a better interest rate. Better meaning lower. If you're a real estate investor and if you can afford the payment, don't you dare refinance to a lower interest rate. You are hurting yourself. I need you to see now. I know you weren't focused in on this, but maybe you were. Do you see the same loan at 4.5%? Do you see these principal payments now? See what the principal payments now are, Miss Sandy?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I wasn't pressing the button. Yes, I do.
$264 now to get rid of one payment.
Right.
We're at 17%, at 18%. It was like $14 to get rid of a payment.
Right.
Do you see, if you learn how to read this thing, how much easier you can get to where you need to go and understand how it's about how much interest you actually end up paying that matters. It's not what they're looking for, because if I like those credit card payments, if I can pay off the credit card, they're looking for a certain amount of interest, but they're not going to get it. Why? Because I choose the timing. I choose when to give them money, and I disrupt their timing, makes it impossible for them to charge me all of that interest. And the same amount of money, the $3,000 only takes off 1 year on this loan, where $3,000 on the other loan takes off 9.
Right.
My goodness. Why weren't we taught this in junior high?
Yeah, this should have started in elementary. We should have had a basic understanding of how the numbers work and, how our financials add up when it comes to things like interest.
All right. Miss Sandy, do you have any other questions for me this morning?
I do have a question.
Go right ahead.
I tend to hear friends and family say that they're making double payments.
Mhm.
How does the bank look at these double payments if they make, more payments onto their mortgage than anticipated?
How does the
So
bank?
like in this instance, let's say the mortgage payment was 3,000 in our first case. Let's say they paid 6,000 at a
Mhm.
time.
Okay, so let's take a look at that. I'm going to put something up on the screen. I am trying to bring up my PowerPoint so I can put this on here, because I actually have a slide on that. Okay, so
Okay.
we're trying to bring this up so we can answer the question. All right, so let me open this up and let's see if we can find that slide right quick. And there we go. There it is. All right, and we'll broadcast that. See if it goes to the right screen. Nope, it didn't go to the right screen. So hold on. Now that I know what screen it's going to go to, let me go ahead and share it to the proper screen. And we're going to stop the screen here. Stop here. And then we're going to share the new screen, share screen. and we're going to put it over on this screen. Okay, there you go.
Okay.
Now let's go ahead and put this on the screen, and let's see, pull that back up and share the screen. All right, you should be able to see. Tell me what you see on the screen in, let's see, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, what do you see there?
I see borrower's right to repay or prepay.
Okay, that is the borrower's what?
Right to
It
prepay.
is your right to prepay. That's what it says on your mortgage. This is your right to do this. So how does the bank look at it?
Looks like a prepayment.
Right. So I have the right to make prepayments of principal at any time before they are due. A payment of principal only is known as a prepayment. So anything that you pay before it's due is called a prepayment. So if you have a regular mortgage payment of $2,000, but you give them, or $3,000, and you give them $6,000, so that means about $3,000 of that is not due. You're giving it to them early, correct?
Right.
According to how the contract is written, you have a right to do that.
Okay.
When I make a prepayment, I will tell the note holder in writing that I am doing so. I may make a full prepayment, meaning I can pay off the entire loan if I want to, or partial prepayments. I could do it in smaller increments, like the $3,000 you're talking about.
Okay.
Without paying any prepayment charge. Oh, okay. But here's the most important part. The third paragraph. The note holder will use how much of my prepayments?
All of my prepayments.
To do what?
To reduce the amount of principal that I owe under this note.
So all that money goes to principal. None of it goes to interest. So we can find the right time to pay them their money. Makes it impossible for them to charge us. The rules were right there. We just didn't know how to interpret it.
Right.
It's not their job to do the interpretation for us. It's their job to even just to put it in there. So how
now, if you don't put them on notice that it's a prepayment, are they just going to apply that to the principal?
Here's
I mean, not the principal, the interest.
No, you can't see. Here's the thing. Interest is something that we manipulate. We actually didn't borrow interest money. It's rent.
Understood.
It's rent. So, and the reason why we have to tell them on a mortgage and not any other loan is because so many people escrow their payment. They add in their taxes and insurance.
Oh yes, I forgot about that part.
And because of that, there is an escrow account. It's a bank account that you're actually putting money in that pays you no interest. So
gotta love it.
So you're giving them money so that they can put it in there. All right. They're putting it in there. And then when you give them that money, and I'm going to get Flame on this in a minute, he's going to go crazy on it. Okay. You're giving them that money. And then they are paying your taxes and insurance for you as quote unquote favor. I'm doing my air quotes now. Quote unquote a favor. Okay. Do you want to know the reasoning behind all of this? Why the banks are so willing to put the escrow for you? Now, the reason why, I'll answer this question first and then we'll let Flame come on. Okay. So now the reason why they do that is I need you to tell me that you want me to put it on your principal. If you don't, I'm just going to put it in your escrow account.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's where it defaults to. It always defaults to escrow unless you tell them differently. Now, isn't that crazy? They know you want it to go to your principal. They know you know, and I know, but this is the rule. We just follow their rules. Okay. So your bank may have a different way of informing them. Just find out how your bank wants to be informed of the principal payment. Just follow the rules. So they'll put the money on principal instead of putting in your escrow account.
Okay.
Now, here's why. Flame is going to go over why banks want money on deposit. I love the way he does it. Flame, are you there, sir?
Hey, what's going on, Don? What's going on?
Listen, man, can you go over why banks love to get money on deposit in their banks? Like, the fractional reserve type stuff. Can you talk to us about that?
Oh man, listen, for you guys that don't know, if you look into your town, right? One of the Dom, we talk about it all the time. The biggest borrower in your town is not Mr. Frederick that got the construction company. It's actually your banks. And one of the things is that you guys know that that when you implement in the banking system, that there's a number that I want you to always remember, and that number is the number 10, right? So I want you to, if somebody can, I want you to understand that number 10, right? That number 10 is huge for you to understand this particular part of the story. For the amount of money that you deposit into a bank, right? Your interest on that money is what we can always say, what, 0.01%, something like that, they give you back. Well, we all kind of say that in that area, right? Somewhere in that area.
Yes,
right?
sir.
But watch this. Listen to this right here. When you put that money in that bank, and so for the purpose of this story, let's just say that you deposit $10,000 into that bank, right? The moment that you deposited $10,000 into that bank, now I want you to listen closely. $10,000 into that bank. So we got to say that again. $10,000 into that bank. That bank is now allowed to actually lend out $100,000 based upon your $10,000. So person number one person A comes into the bank, deposited $10,000. Person B comes into the bank, right? And now they're borrowing $100,000 on that money that you just deposited into that bank, right? That's 10x in that, right? And then what happens is this. Now watch this. They would charge. they would give you 0.1% on the money that you're borrowing, and then the money that they're charging for rent, as Mr. Don says, they're turning around and charging somebody else 12 to 15% interest on that money. Think about that, 12 to 15%. The person they got the money from, they only got it at 0.1%, right? So now what they're actually able to do is they're able to turn around and get like 14.9% interest on money that they're just the middleman of. I mean, if that's not the craziest thing out, I don't know what is. It's a crazy world. And the way that they're able to do it is because that when that money is deposited, now they're being authorized to being able to lend up to 10 times that money with fractional reserve banking. So this stuff is incredible, Mr. Don. Did you? I don't think I think they got to get a chance to just grasp that. Listen, while y'all sitting there grasping that, man, let's go ahead and share this room. We got 25 shares, but let's get this thing in the hallway, man. There's so much powerful information here that Mr. Don has dropped. Just making sure that we show our gratitude by letting others hear the same information as well. 25. I can't believe she ain't shared the room. Man, that's crazy. But anyway, if you hear my voice and if you got something from Mr. Don this morning, listen, I want to find out something. If you got anything from Mr. Don this morning right now, let me see the number 9 in the chat. Let me see that number 9 in the chat. If you learned anything today, if you got any bit of information, if he actually enhance your information from information that you've known, let's put number 9 in the chat. That's a way of showing gratitude. Let's let people know that we are learning and we're not afraid to let them know who's teaching us right now. Let's put number 9 in the chat. I think that's a great thing to do, is being able. Mr. Don, back to you.
Thank you, Flame. So listen, folks, I need you to really wrap your mind around this, Miss Sandy. So this is one of the main reasons why banks say we will pay your taxes and insurance for you. Just deposit that money in the bank and we'll pay taxes and insurance on time for you. Because for every dollar they have on deposit, they can lend out 10. So in other words, they're actually lending out fictional money they really don't have, money that does not even exist. If you and I did that, that's a name for that. There's a name for us to give people fake money. What's the name for that? Is it called counterfeiting? And banks can do it because it's legal. It's legal for them to do it. They can lend out more money than they actually have based on our deposits that we give them. So this is why we do what we do. So in other words, folks, we want to understand this banking system so that we can take better advantage of it. I am not against banking. I love the bank. Why? Because they have something I want. They've got money and I want to borrow that money and I want to use that money to invest just like they're investing. And they're paying me pennies on the dollar for the use of my money. Guess what? I'm going to take that money back. I'm going to pay them pennies on the dollar for the use of that money. And I'm going to make a big old benefit with it. So I'm going to get back. I need you to listen to this, folks. I'm going to get back every dime in interest I've ever paid and then some. Every dime in interest I've ever paid and then some. Why is that? Because this is what we're going to call, I do a thing called zero. Oh, Kenyatta, you're going to love this. How to get a 0% interest loan. How to get a 0% interest mortgage based on how much interest you actually pay. Now, here's what I need you to do. Here's what I need you to think about. Okay. All right. All right. I bought some apples for $5. Okay. I sold the apples for $10. In the grand scheme of things, did I pay for the apples? Anybody?
No.
No. I did not pay for the apples because I took $5 that I had, bought the apples, sold the apples. I got $10. All right. So in other words, I end up having $5 more. I did not pay for the apples. Somebody else paid for the apples, but I made $5. So if you take a look at all the interest you've ever paid in life, and I'm going to we're going to show this on Friday too. Write this down for me, Miss Kenyatta, because we get ideas as we go along. Okay. I'm going to show you how to get a 0% interest mortgage, because what you want to do is, how do we do this? Take the interest that I save and turn it into earnings. Therefore, you earn back more interest than you've ever paid. Therefore, you can say, I never paid a dime of interest on my mortgage. I never paid a dime because I received more money back in interest than I've ever paid. I'm using the bank's money to make money. I'm turning my debt into wealth. That's a t-shirt. Write that down. I'm turning my debt into wealth. So we're going to call that debt. I'm writing it down. Debt into wealth. I was just talking about this earlier today on how if you come on social media long enough and you do this thing long enough, you're going to get new ideas and new information to bring to the people. It's not just the same old information, but you get better at it. The presentations that you give are better now than they were last week. We're going to turn debt into wealth. Whoever thought about that? I can take the debt that I am taking on for buying my house or buying my education or buying my car. How can I turn that debt into wealth? We're going to talk about that. How do I get a 0% interest loan on my mortgage? Ooh, boy. Because we just talked. Miss Kenyatta, do you have something for me today? Oh my gosh. Listen, folks, I get so excited about this. Listen, folks, we got 6 minutes left. We got 6 minutes left today. And those who are online, I have to let go. But I hope we got some information here. And I'm going to go into we're gonna do more with this 18% loan on Friday. So you want to come back. You want to come back here on Friday. And if you can't come back, you can always watch the replay. Okay, you can always watch the replay. But I'm going to do a presentation on this 18% and show you what the effective interest rate can be on an 18% loan. Now, I'm going out on the limb here because I haven't done the calculations yet. I haven't done it yet. So, but before we go, I got somebody who put something on the screen. All right. Somebody put something on the screen earlier, Miss Nail Wilson. And she says, so often we encompass the P&I as what we owe no matter what, the principal and interest. But Don is teaching us that is not the case, showing us how to just pay back as close to possible only what we borrowed. In other words, how do we cut the interest cost down as mathematically far as possible as we can? You want to pay the least amount of interest that's mathematically possible for you. The best loan, 0%. The next best loan, paying the least amount of interest that's mathematically possible. And here she says again, the next one, as a real estate agent, I'm telling all of my clients about Don's book and videos. How about that as a real estate? Thank you, Sister Wilson. Thank you, Miss Wilson. I appreciate you. Listen, we're putting this on the screen right now. Folks, go to ice10k.com or click on the link above, ice10k.com, or click on the link above. If you want to know the month, day, and year you can be debt free, the month, day, and year you can be debt free, and how much interest you can save, we will even tell you the effective interest rate for you. Most of our clients, the effective interest rate is 1% or less. Oh my goodness, 1% or less is their effective interest rate. I'm going to show you how we get to that on Friday. We're going to show you how this 18% mortgage can work for you. We're going to show you how to get a 0% interest mortgage, and we're going to show you how to turn debt into wealth. That's all coming Friday. So folks, get your savings and earnings report. And when you get your savings and earnings report, remember this coupon code, ICE10K, ICE10K. So when you're filling out your report, when you get to the financial form, it's going to ask you, how did you learn about us? Then click on that. Don't say Clubhouse. Scroll down to where it says Other and write in ICE 10K. Why do you want to do that? Because we're in the 10K giveaway, and we're going to be in the 10K giveaway until Monday the 18th at midnight. It all goes away. For those that qualify who have between 1 mortgage and 10 mortgages, and they fill out the form completely and they qualify for our program, we'll take $1,000 off of our lifetime program for 10 clients, for the next 10 clients. 2 people have already taken advantage of it, so we have 8 left. Don't miss out. Get that information in. Come on, get it in, and get $1,000 off a program that's going to save you over $100,000 in interest, and you can use for the rest of your life over and over and over again. We've got clients paying off their 3rd, their 4th, their 5th mortgage on this thing, and they only bought it one time. I mean, you can use it for a lifetime. It's the gift that keeps on giving. All right, especially if you're a real estate investor, up to 10 mortgages, saving. And we got people saving millions of dollars in interest. And I'm going to take $1,000 off that program. All right. So listen, folks, that's what we're doing for you. Now, I need you to hear one more time from Dr. Eric Thomas as we say goodbye to everyone online that is live streaming right now.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.